What is Startup Cuts? Well, it was an idea I had as being a full-time barber and also having a side business. I had an online marketplace which I started with a friend, and we sold that at the beginning of this year. I'm going to go into more information in that in another video. But doing my job, I get a lot of interesting people coming through the door and sitting in my chair. A lot of entrepreneurs and people who work at startups, freelancers, all these types of people, and I always have really good conversations with them about business. I hope you learn something from these videos, but also get to see a bit of behind the scenes, relaxed chat that you usually get when you're getting your hair cut. The first person I've got on the show is Chad. Chad is a long-term friend of mine and a loyal customer, and he has been working at a corporate company now for a long time, but for the last couple of years he's been tufting. It's like making rugs and carpets with a machine. And he's trying to work out now about how he can monetize this, how he can turn it into a course or start doing content out of it. Anyway, I'm gonna let you watch the video. Please give me some feedback in the comments. If you've got any advice for Chad, I'm sure he's gonna read the comments too. That would also be helpful. This is the first video. I promise these are gonna get better every time. I'm putting a lot of effort into this and I wanna make the channel grow. Help me, support me, like my stuff, and yeah, come and join me for the journey. So what are we doing with the hair today?
Same old, unless you...
Same old, so like just leaving a bit of the curls at the front.
Yep.
Doing a high zero fade.
Yep.
But dropping it down a little bit at the back.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's working. I think it looks nice. I think we can go with that still, if you're happy to.
Yeah, let's do that. And beard.
You want a beard? Yeah, problem.
A bit scruffy at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
I tried a moustache moment and...
You're what?
I tried a moustache moment.
Yeah, because I took it quite short last time, but did we leave the moustache last time? I can't remember.
No, last time I think we did the beard, and then I went to where I was like, I didn't see you in time, and then it was looking, so I just shaved it.
Shaved it off?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of those things that you're like, I go through a phase of being like, yeah, I like the moustache. And then I go for it for a month or so. Then I just sporadically shave it off. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I looked better without it.
It was shocking. I had a beard, I think, from like 25 to, and then the first time I'd shaved it properly was when I think I was like 36 and I'd gained like 10 kilograms.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, I have a double chin. So I grew it back.
Do you think that's why you subconsciously keep it then?
Yes. No, I've lost a little bit of weight since then, but still, yeah. The trauma has
of the weight,
has not left me. Yeah, I'm seeing my...
Yeah, I see that on a lot of guys. They obviously grow the beard, or they come to me and they're like, yeah, I've got the beard because I've got a double chin, and they like try and make a little joke out of it and stuff like that. But I'm like, but they sometimes do the line too low, and they think that having the line really low covers up the double chin. It does sometimes if you've got a really bad one, but if you've just got a little one, it's better to follow the jawline and just give shape to the face rather than trying to cover it up.
What's diabolical is when it's the reverse of that and it's like too, like the chin.
Oh yeah, like old Craig David used to do. That was like very 90s R&B, right?
I wonder what happens to Craig David.
Oh, he's probably living off his royalties somewhere, I reckon. I know he left the UK because he was traumatized from the old Beau Selector. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
He was this comedian from the UK, really famous, called Lee Francis. And he used to do this impression of... I used to do these characters, different characters. Some of them probably wouldn't be allowed on TV now, but he's a really funny guy. He's actually from Leeds. He's actually from near where I'm from. And he used to do this guy pretend to be Craig David, and he used to have a big inflatable jaw and a big beanie on his eye, and he'd be like, Craig David. He just sounds ridiculous when you say it, and he'd do impressions of him, and he'd sing Craig David's songs, but he'd take him the piss. But he did it in a funny way, and Craig David could have easily just gone along with it and laughed and just seen it as a joke, because it was, and everyone was just like laughing, but he didn't. He took a real offense to it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and I think when a comedian is taking the piss out of you and you take offense to it, then you're just egging them on to do it more, right?
It's just awkward. If you make it awkward, it's more awkward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was this. Do you know who Fern Cotton is? She was like she was a big Radio 1 presenter in the UK. She went and did one of these, like, she did this series where she went to like big celebrities back in the day and kind of saw what they were up to. And she went, and I'll never forget this, she went to interview Craig David and he was living in LA. And then she actually brought up this whole situation with this.
He can't escape.
Yeah, this Craig David thing and with this Bo Selector thing. And he said, yeah, I sometimes think about it and get upset, and then I just get in my white Lamborghini and go home and I'm all right. And I'm just like...
It's a bit wanky.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right. Didn't handle that well. So, how's the tufting going?
Good, yeah. So I was working on this big piece and then I hung it last night, which was a mission in itself. And I was really nervous about it, but then when I saw it up, I'm really pleased with it, which is not something that I've said about something that I've made for a long time, because I don't know, when you work in corporate situations, everything is just I don't know, not creative.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it was nice to see it up and just feel like, hey, yeah, I made something and I did it in my spare time when other people are watching TV. I'm like there tufting away. And yeah, I liked it. There's 2 curators that put the show together. It's just
for this weekend.
Yeah.
For you're doing an exhibition this weekend.
Yeah. So the exhibition is in one of the halls, and then there's like an artist library in the other hall, which is just like snippets of people's studio spaces. And then all the studios also open up. And there's 2 artists there who are curating it, really nice people. And the one person said to me, oh yeah, it's really nice to see. It's very impressive, your progress in the last year from an art perspective. And I was like, wow,
that's nice to
hear,
nice,
right? Because I'm not an artist.
You are an artist, though.
But I'm not like, I didn't go to art school, I didn't study art, I didn't do any of that
stuff. I don't think that matters. I don't think that's what makes an artist.
But in that circle of people, they've all done that.
Yes.
And last year I felt like such an imposter because I was there because I was renting the space, right? And so where I got the invite to put stuff up. But then, I don't know, I felt like I'm...
accepted?
A little bit, yeah. And I don't know, in a work environment, I would have felt like a total imposter. And now I was just like, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, I felt really good about it.
You've got to think, fuck it, whatever sometimes. And I think it's normal to feel a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, sweating.
Sweating, yeah, it is warm. It's okay. Super warm day today. I think it's normal to feel that imposter syndrome, but it's also normal to feel like accepted as well, because like we're human beings, aren't we? And this acceptance from our community and peers is important to us. And I think it's nice. I just want to talk, because obviously this podcast is about startups and stuff like this, and side businesses or things that people are doing for themselves, really. And just want to talk a little bit how you got into it and what made you start tufting, really. And what is tufting?
So I found out about it, I think, the same way that a lot of people found out about it, which is just on TikTok and seeing people do it. And I didn't know that was a thing, right? So tufting is, you basically have a piece of monk's cloth, which is a very loose material. It's not very woven tightly together. And you have a gun, and the gun shoots yarn through the material, and you make carpets, right? So it's like carpets, but with a little gun. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Why not?
Yeah.
And
had you tried other things before this?
Yeah, weirdly, I'd tried a lot of things around wool. Like I'd tried, or fabrics, like textiles.
So it was the material thing that...
Yeah, so I'd tried...
Knitting?
Knitting, yeah. I was a bit of a rubbish knitter. I'm not like a perfectionist. I think for knitting, I think I am a bit of a perfectionist, but I was not patient enough with knitting to get it perfect, and I think you have to for that. And it was also really slow. And then I tried cross-stitching, which is even slower. And when I was cross-stitching, I just always wanted to like cross-stitch dicks or root stuff and kind of take this like old granny craft thing and then subvert it a little bit. And then the tufting, I was like, okay, this is cool, and it looks like you could do something really quick, so there's a bit of gratification because you could do a small one. And then, in, I don't know, 3 hours you could have a little rug. So I saw the TikTok video and bought the gun. Spent too much money on a whole bunch of shit. And then I just started doing it out of my bedroom. So I tacked the frame onto my work desk and didn't really know what I was doing. Just had to go. At first doing very figurative stuff. So I will make a rug of a snake, or I will make a rug of a smiley face. Which is what a lot of the TikTok stuff is. You know, people recreating, I don't know, their favorite Pokemon characters or whatever.
I've seen this sort of stuff online.
But then I always felt, I don't want to do Pokemon characters. I wanted to feel elevated a little bit, but I didn't know how to do that. So then I was just trying to, I don't know, figure out what they would look like, and I tried different materials and different designs. And then my husband, who you know, Harvey, is an artist. And he had a studio space, but it was a pretty shitty studio space in someone's basement in Berlin. Really shit and dark. And
he makes clay models, right?
Yeah, he's a sculptor.
Sculptor.
So he wanted a studio space, he wanted something better, and he wanted to share a space with me and also a frame because he wanted to bring his costs down.
Of course.
So then we found the space, and I was a bit hesitant because I thought, I don't know, it's like such a commitment. Now I'm going to be paying rent for this thing that's a hobby. And just decided, fuck it, I'll do it. Because I was...
When was this?
This was about a year and a half ago. So then we got the space, and then now I can get a bigger frame. And I thought maybe if I do something bigger, then it will feel more elevated. But I was still doing figurative stuff. I built the big frame. It was like my DIY moments, getting birch, and then I had to buy the power tools to make the frame, and I had to... But so I was just accumulating all this stuff as well. So then I was like, good.
It's always good to have tools and stuff though, right?
Oh my God. I could talk about power tools for ages. I'm very into power tools. And so I got the big frame. And I did a big figurative piece, and I liked it, but it's still, I'm also not a drawer. So I was like, I don't know. And then where I was getting stuck, was I was like, there's so much stuff I want to try, but I feel like I have to do it perfect to do it. And then so I gave...
Do you mean do it perfect to the design, or do it perfect as in everything has to be like the right machine, the right this? Because sometimes with this tufting, I've seen the patterns can be a bit abstract a little bit.
I think it was like more about the designs and the patterns, right? So people do a lot of this where they design it and they shave it, or they just use wool. And so I was doing this and I wasn't getting to a place where I felt like I was happy with anything that I was making. So I decided, like, fuck it. I'm just gonna fill this frame with a bunch of weird little experiments. So I made like, I don't know, I must have spent about 6 months making a bunch of tiny little experiments, and I was like, I'll weave with fishing gut, or I will tuft with t-shirt material, or I'll try shave the whole thing down, or I'll not shave it, or I'll buy a long tufting machine. So I just gave myself 6 months. I'm just gonna play and fuck around and see what comes out of it. And then literally the last thing I did on that was something that was very organic, didn't have a plan, didn't draw it down on the frame, didn't shave it. But it's just like, I want to create something that looks like moss, but not a direct version of moss, like an abstract kind of hints of moss, but maybe a little bit alien.
Yeah, what you would imagine moss to look like in a movie or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, like exactly.
Yeah.
And it's I know in a film context they call it magic realism, where it's real life, but there's something a little bit out of the ordinary. So I was like, I'm gonna use natural colors, but then I'm gonna add weird alien neon flowers.
Yes.
Or whatever, And then that was the thing that I ended up really liking. And then so I had a little sample of that and then decided like I'm gonna make a much bigger version. And that's the piece that's going on exhibition. So
okay.
I'm very happy with that. And that's also...
I've seen it online. I've seen like you doing these moss pieces and I think it looks really nice. I think from what I remember from memory, there was some nice like purples in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flowers have got a bit of purple, a bit of orange, and weird neon green, and
Yeah, I mean, if this goes online, then I'll put a link to your social media and show it and stuff in the description. But that's cool. Yeah, that's nice. And is it just the one big piece that you've got showing there, or you got some other little things too?
So I've got the big piece in the exhibition hall downstairs, and then in our studio, we're going to have an open studio so everyone can come in and see the process. So I've got like photos of the little experiments and some of them up on the walls.
Yeah.
And my journal with little samples of yarn.
Yeah.
So that's all up there and people can see a bit more of the behind the scenes and my process. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have some of the flowers. I made a whole bunch of them. So I have them going up the walls.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to do a little demo of the tufting.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
Yeah. I want people to do it.
Yeah.
I did this a little bit last year, and I winged it, and it ended up attracting crowds and crowds of people because I think no one's seen a tool like it before.
Yeah.
And everyone's curious to try it, and they're a little bit scared. But I figured out I can teach anyone how to do it in 5 minutes. Like the gist of sticking the machine in and tufting.
You just got to work out how to turn it into a three-day course and sell it.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be the new pottery of Berlin.
And I'll need a chain of them.
Are you like documenting all the stuff that you're doing? Are you like recording yourself doing it for like maybe to use at some point on social media and stuff? I know you've done some videos of you making it and editing it. Is it something that you're like, today I'm going to edit a video for it, or do you just film yourself doing stuff and then go, maybe I'll use that footage for later?
I wish I could figure out a better way to do the filming, to be honest. I don't feel like I'm doing the best job as a content creator because that feels like it's a job in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I've tried just setting up my phone and doing time lapse, that sort of thing, or sometimes I'll grab a couple of shots as I'm going.
Yeah.
But I think what's really satisfying as content that people enjoy of these kind of tufting things is seeing the back of it appear, these time lapses, and then all of a sudden there's a design there.
Yeah.
And also the shaving. And I'm not doing the shaving now so much.
But you think that's what people want to see, but really what people want to see is something different being made. And I don't think it's the satisfying of that. I feel like it's just seeing what's going to come at the end of it is also part of. People like to see things start to finish sometimes, hence why I'm doing a podcast, doing a haircut whilst having a chat. And I think from what I've speaking to people and stuff, it's something people like to see. So also, I think not everything has to be content either. It just can be just done for fun and stuff like that. And at some point you might be like, yeah, I'm ready to share this more with the world and stuff.
I do think about it, and I think it would be good to just build the habit of it and find, I don't know, whatever my version of sharing that looks like, that doesn't feel like so much work. I'll give you an example of that.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good because I don't know where it's going to go. Maybe it stays as a hobby and that's great and I love doing it. Maybe I do give courses at some point and then it would be great to have an audience for that. Or maybe I decide to exhibit more broadly and it would also be good to have an audience for that. But the example I was going to mention is an artist in our studio. His name's, well, he's like in the same building. And he does these massive murals.
Yeah.
And he makes his own little tools. So it'll be like 4 paintbrushes stuck together.
Yeah.
And then he'll like do, almost like on a, you know those maths tools that, what is it called? Like a compass that helps you draw.
Oh yeah, that helps you draw arcs.
Yeah, like he'll create
compass.
a compass with a bunch of paintbrushes, and then he'll just paint lines really beautifully.
Yeah.
And he has one camera he sets up in the back of his studio.
Yeah.
It's a time lapse of him doing it. You get to see the tools. It's like a straight on angle. One video is one artwork from start to finish. And it just looks freaking rad. But
what the video does afterwards.
Yeah, it's so satisfying. His work looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's not a shit ton of process for him to do.
Yeah. He's
knows what
also
works.
showing how he does it.
Yeah.
He's tied some brushes together and he's done it like this, but obviously he's doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
it's like, it's cool. Yeah, I see a lot of these artists and they like to show the process, or they like to talk about how they got into it, or they like to, like even the description that you made of how you came up with the concept of the moss and the space thing. You could do the filming and you can just talk over the background, just like a little bit.
It makes me so cringe, the idea of having to, I don't know, edit something with my voice on. But I know you're right.
I think it's just practice though. You obviously talk at work, right?
Yeah, I do.
You give a
I
presentation.
don't have to hear myself.
Yeah.
And then I think we've spoken about this before as well. That's the difference between TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Like Instagram, it's probably likely that it's, I don't know, your aunts and your friends and your family, and it feels weird to do that to that audience, but maybe not so much to people
TikTok
you don't
feels
know.
a bit more strangers.
Yeah, maybe I should just do it all on TikTok.
Maybe do it on TikTok if you feel more comfortable. I move more of my sort of creative, talking, expressive stuff to TikTok, just because, I felt more anonymous. But now I feel like I'm actually making some nice connections with people on there. Like, I get people genuinely messaging me about, oh, I'm from Yorkshire and I live abroad. I've lived there for 10 years and I really like your content. It's funny, or I relate to it. Quite a few messages. It's quite nice. I'm building this sort of audience and connection with people who are like interested and I'm related to stuff. Whereas Instagram, I think is good. It's great. But it's more like your friends, oh, listen, look at this funny meme sort of thing and stuff like that a little bit.
I was joking with a friend about there's an Instagram voice.
Yeah.
There's a certain style of delivery that certain Instagram influencers have all adopted.
It's very calming and it's
Yes.
very much like this.
Exactly.
Hey, hello everybody and welcome to my A Day in the Life of Me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you get to sound like that? You don't sound like that in real life.
And they're saying really expressive stuff like, I'm so totally obsessed with this new thing. You don't sound obsessed.
I am totally obsessed. Yeah. And then if it's a video and there's a current trend going on, it's something's mindful. No, that's get that word in. So what are the other artists then that you're sharing the space with? Is it all different things and stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty mixed. There's quite a few painters. Harvey, my husband, has got a sculpture up.
Yep.
A little small sculpture. And then there's some hanging pieces. There's photography. The library in the space next door that I mentioned is really nice. They've done a really good job curating it.
Yeah.
It's like really like notebooks of artists. You can sit down and look at their inspiration or page through some books. So there's old catalogs of shows they've been in. So it feels more interactive and cozy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the group show, the whole concept is around conversation. So the curators are trying to almost like they found pieces within that group of artists that sort of work together. I don't know, they're like connected in color or whatever. And then they've created these small little groups of them. And they're almost, the artwork's almost interacting with one another.
Oh, cool.
So like my wall tapestry rug thing is touching one of the paintings, which is very unusual for an art exhibition. I mean, it's very classic, like each piece on its own.
Yeah.
But I think I like it. I like that they have a space to try that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So as Harvey had done lots of exhibitions before and stuff like that around Berlin.
Yeah. Before he moved to Berlin, he was working full-time as an artist in South Africa.
Yeah.
And I think with the move here, Berlin's a completely different art market. So I think people come here to make art.
Yeah.
And to meet artists and be inspired. But people don't buy art here in the same way. And also a lot of the galleries, they'll have like satellite offices or satellite galleries here, but that's not where they're really selling work.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's showing in a couple of places around Berlin, a few group shows. This Berlin Affordable Art Market that you went to, he had some stuff up there. And there's another really great one 2 years ago. It's at this venue. I kind of forget where it is. But it's in this industrial area near Warschauer Straße.
Yeah. Does he sell most of his stuff online then and stuff like that?
Yeah, through connections or that kind of thing. But he's also in the same mode now. He's here to play and experiment and try things out.
Yeah, cool.
I think that's the difference for him when he was in South Africa, and he was sustaining himself just off of art sales. I think there was a little bit of pressure to make stuff that was going to sell to that market versus what does he want to do or what does he want to experiment with or play or take his craft further. At first, I think he was pretty hesitant to that and a bit scared about the fact that you were living in a place where art doesn't sell.
Yeah.
But he's embraced it now a bit. I think he's got his design job that he does 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And he's embraced, I come here and it's my practice and I get to make shit and just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking. Yeah. Talking of show, we always have a little chat. What have you been watching lately?
I just started Rings of Power.
Oh my God, same.
It's good.
Yeah, but I messed up because I was like, I've watched obviously Lord of the Rings and all this sort of stuff, and then as season 2's come out, and I was like, I'm gonna get into it. And I accidentally watched the first episode of the second series.
No, you got the whole spoiler.
I got a proper spoiler, and I was like, fuck, that was really good. I was like, started off a bit in the middle of something, but I was like, maybe this is it. And then I went to watch episode 2, I was like, and I'd gone, it was like another day, and I'd gone to and I was like, what's going on? Why is she on a boat? Why is she in the water and stuff? And then I was like, oh my God, I've watched the first episode of the second series. But the first episode of the second series was so good that I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna watch the first series. Yeah. And the first series is fucking boring, isn't it?
It definitely ramps up at the end.
Okay,
but it's a bit slow to get into it.
Yeah.
But what was cool was like, so it was very slow, and then you're like, okay, like why are they digging all these holes? And
I feel like he's been trying to convince the dwarves to help him for 4 episodes now.
Yeah.
It's like.
But by the time the twists came around, I think for Lord of the Rings fans, they knew the whole way. I don't know the depth of the history, but I was sold.
No, I'm into it. I have to not have my phone in the room because it can get a little bit drifty offy at parts, and I could pick my phone up and then I'll be like, what's going on? So I like purposely charge my phone in the other room with it. So that has helping me get into it and stuff. So
they have spent a lot of money on that.
The most expensive series ever made.
And it looks expensive.
Yeah. But what they've done in the aspects of, you know, when Lord of the Rings came out and you didn't really recognise it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, obviously there was some famous actors, but not the lead roles. So it's, imagine you're the actor and you're like, you're not really been in loads of stuff before and you're like, I'm going to be a Lord of the Rings, you're like, set for life. Yeah, sorted. I think they can make a whole career just out of going to these different fan cons. Yeah, the fan things and stuff like that, Some angry fan, you didn't say the line right from the book.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We were also watching a South African series. I don't know if you feel this way when you're watching TV, but like it's quite nice when you're living not in your home place to watch some stuff that just feels like cozy home.
Oh mate, same.
Stuff. Yeah.
I love it. It's like when I watch anything, I'm not even from London, but whenever I see London on TV, I'm like, London.
I say cozy, the show we're watching is not cozy.
Okay.
It's called Catch Me a Killer.
Okay.
And it's about the first, I think she was the first South African forensic profiler, so it's Mindhunter vibe.
What's this on?
It's on a South African streaming platform called
Okay.
Showmax. I don't know how you get it here.
Oh, okay.
But maybe. And it's really fucking good. And the murders are intense.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's really dark. South Africa does have
Quite a lot of murders.
quite a lot of murders. It can get a bit dark.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know about a lot of these serial murderers.
Really?
Killing 20 people, leaving them in a field outside of prison. Way out crazy
Whoa,
stuff.
you think
Yeah.
that's America sort of stuff? But I
Yeah,
suppose
right?
it happens everywhere, innit?
Like really dark,
Yeah.
creepy people. So that was nice.
Yeah. Have you seen Red Line?
No, what's that?
It's new on Netflix. It's 6 episodes. British. I think it's a British drama because all the actors in it I recognise from British shows. And basically, this doctor, he's in in China, and there's an incident in this club, and then he manages to fly back. But then the Chinese government accuse him of a crime, and they want him extradited. And it's about the journey from on the aeroplane back to China after he's been extradited. And it's MI5 Chinese Secret Service show. Really good.
I'm sold.
Intense. Really, really good. Yeah.
Don't want to piss off China.
Don't want to piss off China, no. I was like, oh, what's this going to be saying about China? But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's really good. Yeah. Cool. How's the hair looking?
Good, thank you.
Just get these hairs off you, and then we'll do the beard.
Are you listening to any audiobooks?
Audiobooks. Not been on the. Do you know what? I was listening to podcasts recently when I was away on holiday. You know when you find a podcast and then you just listen to like loads of episodes of that podcast. I do like Diary of a CEO. I think he gets some interesting people on there, and I like him as an interviewer. But I listened to him and he interviewed. I'm just going to put the chair back slightly a bit. Yeah. Are we doing the same? Just fade it down, tidying everything up? Yeah, cool. He interviewed the world's most popular divorce lawyer. And it was like not what you're expecting. And I would have never listened to it. I'd be like, why do I need to listen to this? But I saw a clip of it on TikTok, and this guy had put, I didn't know I needed to watch this or listen to this. And he was talking about how much of an expert he is in love, because obviously he sees all situations and how everything comes to an end. And, you know, it made me like think about relationships in a different way. It made me think that I definitely want to get a prenup. And we like openly had a discussion about this, and we was like cool about it. And he was like, wow, you can just actually have a normal conversation if you're with a normal person.
I was going to say,
Yeah, no.
I mean, Harvey and I also had very open, chill conversation about it, but I'm always surprised at how some couples just don't talk.
Yeah. Honest, this guy, I think from what I remember, one of the lines which got me to listen to it was, he was like, to love anything is insanity, meaning it will always end bad. Either someone will die, or you will break up, or just, it's always going to end bad, is love. So to love is insanity. But when someone passes, or you do break up, or whatever happens, he was like, 75% of people who get divorced within 5 years get married again. And it's what he was saying is that we do have an infinite abundance to love. So we do it, and we can get our heart broken, and we go through the whole cycle of love, and it's insane that we put ourselves through it. But we put ourselves through it because we have an unlimited amount of love that we can give. which kind of made sense, and I thought it was quite nice. And he was like really getting emotional when he was saying it, and the guy looked stinking rich as well. He's obviously a divorce lawyer in America, and for celebrities, he's like a celebrity divorce lawyer and stuff. But yeah, it was definitely worth listening. I got some really good relationship advice from it, actually. Yeah. Have you been listening to any good audiobooks?
No, I've also been listening more to podcasts lately.
Yeah.
I found an old one that's got a shit ton of seasons called Something Was Wrong.
Okay.
And it's all about different kinds of gaslighting abuse. So
heavy.
Yeah, it is pretty heavy. And the situations people find themselves in are pretty, the theme is I like dark content.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the first season is a woman who goes on a Hinge date with a guy, and he seems pretty perfect, and then of course like he's not, he's a total maniac. He's lying to her through his pants, and he makes up people.
Oh really?
Like friends, and then he role plays as the friends. So to make himself come across as credible.
Yeah.
He's, oh, you should speak to my best friend. I just want you to get to know her. And so the girlfriend starts having conversations with this person.
Online or something?
Like texting.
Oh, right. It's him.
Yeah, for like ages. It's him. It was him the whole time. And then there's another season.
Is this real?
It's all real. It's all real stories.
What's it, the new Netflix one, World's Worst Ex?
And I watched that after I saw your...
What are you talking about?
Yeah, how crazy.
It's fucking great.
The first two ones.
The first two ones, oh my God.
You know,
how he was acting with the dog.
Yeah.
And just, it's like a precious little dog. And then he just beats her up and he like protects his dog. I'm like, this guy's...
He was an absolute maniac. And also the police. How
they were
police
bad. They were just, because you hear of women saying like they don't get listened to, and you think, how can women not be listened to if someone comes to them to say they've been raped? And you're like, wow, the police are even doing it sometimes. It wasn't even that long ago, really.
I mean, you saw the one about the woman who was arrested.
Yeah.
That
Crazy.
I was so angry.
Yeah.
She was sitting in prison for this thing that she didn't do.
Yeah.
And she was raped by the person who set her up, and then she...
Just because he like got to the cops before her and just made something up. But I suppose like narcissists like this, very good at manipulating people, and if he goes to the police with a smart story and he's got some wit and some charisma and something, like policemen are only human as well at the same time, aren't they?
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah.
That's totally what they go into in this Something Was Wrong podcast, is narcissists are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
And we all like to think that we're not susceptible to that kind of thing, but we are.
Yeah, but of course we are, you know? Gotta keep something. Funny doing this job, obviously you meet all types of people, and you can, obviously I have narcissist sort of not customers, but people whose hair I've done. You know, I think you attract the right people as well in your job, the right people around you. Some people don't hang around, but some people, you cut their hair, there's just something like off, you know? Just something not quite right. And sometimes you're even in a situation where the barber next to you can sense it, and like you give each other that look like, you know, that person won't right. It's just like, yeah, you know, fine, but you know. I'm not saying they're going to be in a Netflix series, but
Hello.
you never know. He must have got his hair cut somewhere.
I think about that sometimes. Like, how many serial killers have I visited with?
Yeah, you think that sometimes. I'm like, I wonder what is the worst crime someone's done whose hair off cut,
Who has someone in their basement right now?
Who?
Which one of you has someone in your basement?
What are you doing this weekend? Just quiet weekend. Gonna go to the lake. Fritzel.
Working in the cellar. Always a Fritzel.
Cool. How's that, mate?
Good, thank you.
No problem. Do you want anything in the hair? You all good?
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and shower.
Cool. Thank you for coming on the podcast. The first one that hopefully worked this time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.